Alright guys, this is Binary Guy 10 playing some Feed the Beast, and look, we've done it. We filled the lava tank. That has a lot of lava. We're going to have to set up some things to use it now. One of those is going to be right up here in this room. So I like the looks of this room. I'm trying to come up with a cool idea for it. The floor, right now, this is aluminum blocks, because there's not a lot of other use for them besides the cans right now. So I made this out of aluminum blocks. And I'm debating making the wall out of iron blocks. Tell me what you think about that. Should I try to make the whole room, iron? And make it look kind of clean room. Because this is going to be a laser table. Or it's actually called an assembly table. So let me go ahead and let's start up. I'm making an autarkic iron ore gate. So I'll just select that. You see that it starts up. Problem being, it's really slow. This is the progress bar. It's taking forever. So, you can speed it up by adding more lasers, and they just take buildcraft power. So let me hop into my chest here. Let's make, and then let's say 8 more. It's going to take a lot of diamonds. Are we ready for this, guys? And some obsidian, which I never have. Okay. I also need 16 obsidian. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. There we go. And a bunch of redstone. So let me just drop some of this in here. If you put it like this, because we're making a laser. There we go. That's what we want to see. 7, 8. Perfect. Okay, I'll also need a little bit more of my redstone conduit pipe. There we go. Redstone energy conduit, rather. Oh, why did I... Okay. We're good. We're good. Okay, so let's see how our progress is coming. Yeah, not very far. So, gonna break some of the blocks out of the ceiling here. Yeah, that's what we want. So you see I have the energy conduit running into the 1 right now. What we're going to do is we're going to spread that out. Do the whole thing. Oops. Let's go in here, here, there, and there. Get it all connected up. Make a little power grid right here. Here, and here. Okay. That's going to look really cool when it's done. I like it. Let's see how our progress is going now. Oh, yes. Yes, that is much faster. I love it. Alright, so whenever it's done, it takes all the ingredients, puts them over here in the chest beside it. Eventually, I might want to put maybe the buildcraft pipe underneath to run the items over to another chest. But for now, this is fine. Okay, so what are we going to do with this autarkic, however you pronounce that, this iron ore gate? Well, I'm going to head back over to the tree farm because I've been doing some more work there. You remember last time we left it, it wasn't quite automatic. Oh, I also added glass on the other side. That's pretty cool. It wasn't quite automatic. It didn't have a way of refilling itself with humus. Sorry. I was fussed at that for mispronouncing that. Alright, so, you see right here, I have an iron ore gate attached right now. And what it says is when the soil is less than 25% to emit a red pipe signal. And you see this pipe is running along through here. Let me see if I can get this to come out of here. There's some way to do it. Maybe not. Let's just break it. Okay. I think there's some way of getting it out without having to break it, but breaking it definitely works. So I'm going to attach this here, and I'm going to put this is red pipe wire, which is also made on the assembly table. I'm going to attach it to this. You see it's on because I don't have that much humus in my arboretum, and now I'm going to put my iron gate on here. Now what this is, it can actually provide the functionality of a redstone engine. So it can pull out items from a chest. Alright, so if the red pipe signal is on, we want the energy pulsar. Now the energy pulsar is what's going to provide the redstone energy. So it should... There we go. Yeah, it's pulling out the humus, and it's going to pipe it over here and up into the diamond, or the arboretum. I have a set of diamond pipes over there so we can sort everything out. I think I have it where it'll put it in the right place. Yeah, so that's going to go through the gray. Yeah, so that'll go through the gray, up and into the arboretum. Perfect, perfect. Yeah, you can barely see it going up and in there. And this will stay on until we get 25% humus in there. So, as long as we have humus in this chest, it'll make sure there's enough in the arboretum. So that works. That's awesome. Alright, so what's all this mess over here? Alright, so this is underneath the wheat farm. So there's the power for it being used by a biogas engine, and so we have the seeds. Most of the seeds are going back up. Some of the seeds are coming out into this chest. So this chest, I'm just using it as a buffer. Out of this chest I have a transposer, and there's a redstone timer behind it, just sending a pulse every 2 seconds or so, I think. So if I were to... And let me just grab a little bit of stuff. We'll see what it looks like. So essentially I'm using the barrels to store the wheat and the seeds because I'm going to have a use for them momentarily. If I put some wheat in here, you'll see that it'll just start pulling them out. And with the pneumatic piping from redpower, it's intelligent enough to know where to go. So it knows that it cannot even try to go into this barrel, so it'll automatically go over here to this one. And if I were to put dirt in, it would send it all the way to this side. Okay, so what we're going to do now is I'm going to pull the seeds out. I'm going to turn the seeds into plant balls. I'll send the plant balls over here into the macerator, which is being powered by a biogenerator, which you can pump biomass into, which we're doing from underneath here. So if you macerate a plant ball, which let me just pull one of these out of here, get my recipe set up. And this is the auto crafting table, so if it has enough ingredients in it, it'll make whatever you have set up. So this, I put a plant ball into the macerator, it'll take its time about it, and it'll produce dirt. So the dirt we can send over here into this chest, which I'm going to do, I believe, down here underneath. And I'm going to try to get this all set up so that we'll always have a chest of humus over here, so that whenever the arboretum runs low, we can fill it back up. And if we're lucky, I'm also going to try to generate some more biomass out of the extra wheat and seeds. Can you generate biomass from seeds? Biomass. Biomass. There's a ton of stuff you can use. Seeds. Can I use seeds? I can use saplings. Wheat. Nope, no seeds. But I can use the wheat. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to probably split the wheat between the humus production and biomass production. Alright, well, I'm going to get a little more work done because there's going to be a lot of moving around and a lot of wiring up that I'm going to have to spend a bit of time figuring out. So, I'm going to do some work on that. We'll be back once we have a little bit more progress done. You see, this is actually pulsing with a timer. So, I might use that for somewhere. Alright, well, we will be right back. Okay, so we're back, and I have done a lot of work. Oh look, the arboretum got empty. So it's requesting more humus. And it can do that now because we have an unlimited supply. Alright, so let's take a look at the craziness that's happening over here that's keeping us supplied. Alright, I actually have it turned off right now, so let's go ahead and start it up, and we'll go through and talk about it. This was a lot more work than I could have shown on any one episode, and I really wanted to get it all into one, so I apologize for not doing too much on camera, but it involved a lot of trial and error and me learning several new mods. Alright, so again, this is where the stuff comes down, and it's actually been a couple days since I last recorded, so it actually has been quite a while. Alright, so this is the timer, and I went ahead and lengthened it to 4 seconds per pulse. I have this wire going around the back, and this powers every one of these filters. So they all power at the same time. Alright, so you see that they all get powered, and then they dump out their items into this pneumatic tube. And with filters, you can actually do some sorting. So this right here is the barrel of humus, and I have it colored blue, so it pumps out 1 every 4 seconds and colors it blue. So it can only blue items can go through this tube. So it goes around this way, puts itself into this chest. Once this chest fills up, it won't keep trying to pump out the humus, and it'll just stack up in the barrel. So it'll always keep this chest full, which works because this is the one that keeps my arboretum full, which grows my trees. Okay, so let's go ahead and just start at the beginning. The first thing, this comes down and powers all these filters down here, or transposers down here as well. So the first thing, in the quest to make humus, you need to make dirt. So to make dirt, I'm using the seeds. I have an auto-crafting table, and I have this seeds turning into plant balls. So the seeds will turn into plant balls. They'll come over here to the macerator, and it'll macerate them down into 8 pieces of dirt for every 1 plant ball. That'll get put into this chest. See, right now it's creating the plant balls. Now these gates right here are part of BuildCraft. And with this gate, okay, this is actually an ore iron gate, but it's also an archaic gate, or arctic, yeah. It's a powered gate, so it has the ability to pull out items, similar to a redstone engine. So as long as there's no red pipe signal, it will pull items out. So the red pipe signal can be turned on by the iron ore gate. So if there's items in this inventory, it'll turn on the signal, and if there's items in the macerator, it'll turn on the signal. And that's just to keep it from backing up. So if there's items down here, that means that, so in this chest, that means that I haven't sent out enough pulses to the transposer. So all these items get pumped up and back into the top. You can see right there, the dirt goes into the barrel, the compost, and then the humus all the way at the far end. Now if these barrels ever fill up, these chests will keep the items in them, and this will keep it from producing any more plant balls, which will keep it from spitting out items everywhere. So this is essentially an overflow to keep it from backing up once we fill up our barrels. And I have one of these for each of these other items as well. So once we have the dirt gets sent around to the top, goes into the barrel. Now out of this, I actually have 2 dirt coming out because I have a couple different things that use dirt, and I color those yellow. So the first thing it's going to try to do is put it into this. These are buffers, and I have one in front of each of these crafting tables. So it has 5 input sides, and I'm only using one of them. And each of those input sides has 4 item slots. So this is kept stocked with dirt and wheat, and I use that in the auto crafting table to make my compost. So whenever this redstone engine is pulling, it'll pull from the buffer and auto craft the compost. So we're about ready to start doing some more crafting. I just ran out, so it's going to turn on. You see it's starting to pull out. And over here, you can see the dirt and the wheat are getting pulled out and into the buffer. And that's filling up at a rate of 1 every 4 seconds. So it's going to fill up before it tries to make more. This will make about probably 20 pieces or so before it stops. See, right now it's already stopped it because there are now items in this chest, and that turns off the engine. And then we do the same thing over here. We're pulling in compost and dirt, autocrafting right here into the humus, and we have the same setup right here. So we have the chest, the gate that turns on a redstone signal if there are items in the inventory of the chest, and then this only powers if the signal is off. So this will only power if the chest is empty. And all of these filters are being powered by this bit of red power wiring, by the red alloy wire. Sorry, I was forgetting my terms there. And it will take one item out of each chest, put it into this pipe. Now these are transposers, so they don't have as much capability as the filters, but they're still pretty good. They can actually pick up items off the ground as well, and you don't even have to power them, which is cool. Okay, so this is pretty compact, but I actually just had an idea to make it a little bit more compact. So let's do that. Let me run up here to my assembly table. I have a couple gates that are being processed, and it's off, so they should be done. Let's see. We need an autarkic gate, and this is an autarkic iron ore gate, and then iron ore gates, and some red pipe wire. Let's run back down there. See, I learned a lot about red power wiring and the pneumatic pipes, which are really cool, as well as the gates for the buildcraft pipes. It's really going now. It's really cool just to sit back and watch. What I'm probably going to do is cover all this up, and we can still see this piping up here. So we'll be able to see these items moving around, but we won't see all this craziness down here. Alright, so for now, let me just turn off the pulse. This pulse will still allow items to come in from this buffer chest here, but it won't power any of the system down here. So this is all off right now. Alright, so right now this is just passing a redstone signal, and because this is a cobblestone structure pipe, it'll send it up to this one. What I'm going to do is take this down and use some of the pipe wiring. And by doing so, I should be able to make this a bit more compact. Alright, so nothing's coming out right now. Let's put our wooden transport pipe back here. And let's put our autarkic iron ore gate on it. And let's go ahead and put our cobblestone transport pipe on top of this chest, which is going to have the compost in it, and I actually picked up a few pieces. And we're going to put the regular iron ore gate on this pipe. And I'm going to use the pipe wire to wire both of them. You can see the red wire goes on this side right here. So these are wired up now. Okay, so if I look at the iron ore gate, I can look at this one and say inventory, items in inventory. That's what we need. And right now there are items in the inventory. So I want it to emit a red pipe signal. Now for this one, I wanted to say if the red pipe signal is on, we're not going to pump anything. So let's say red pipe signal off, and we're going to do an energy pulse. So if the red pipe signal is off, we're going to pulse energy. We can test this by taking out the compost and seeing if it starts crafting. Watching, yep, there it comes. And you see the lights are off on the iron pipe. As soon as that compost goes into the chest, It'll turn on. That stops the engine. Cool. Very cool. Alright, so you see that takes up a little less space. Takes fewer pieces. So let's do the same thing over here. Break out the cobblestone. Break this out as well. Now, cobblestone transport pipe is kind of cool. You just put gravel inside of your pipe, and it doesn't actually carry anything, and it doesn't connect the pipes, but you can still run the wiring across it. So that's pretty cool. Okay. Oop, I lost our gate up here. Those are expensive. I don't want to lose those. They're not so much resource expensive, but they're time expensive. They take a long time to make. Alright, so the iron ore gate. The Tarkic iron ore gate. Put the pipe wire. Let's set this one to say, okay, if there are items in the inventory, emit the pipe signal. And this one, we want to say if the pipe signal is off, pulse the energy. So let's take out the humus, and it should start pulling out. There we go. I'll just put some back in here for now, because I don't need to carry them around anymore. Okay, so that takes up even less space now. That's really cool. I like that. Let's put our red alloy wire back. Get this going again. If I can speak tonight. Here we go. Alright, so this is actually getting pretty close to full. Underneath this chest, I put some of this hollow stone brick covers. That way the pipe can go through it, but you can't actually see down underneath it. I'm going to make a few more just covers. And that's what I'm going to use to cover up the area down here. Let's do that one more time. Okay. Oh, I threw my saw. These are the micro blocks. They're part of the redpower mod. And they're pretty cool. You just place... Oops, I'll fix that in a minute. Tell you what, for this, I'm just going to use regular blocks. This is going to come in handy over here where I'm trying to hide some of the red alloy wire. But for this, I can just use regular block. We're just a little bit laggy, makes it hard to fly around. You need to make a gravity suit, or anti-gravity suit rather. And then I can just fly. Alright, so if we put this here, here. Oh, this is actually all being powered by a biogenerator, so it's pulling biomass out of the tank, and that's what runs the macerator. In case you didn't notice that. Tell you what, I'm going to put these covers down, and we'll be right back in just a minute to see what it looks like. Okay, there we go. That looks pretty good. I like the looks of that. It's very clean. You can still see the items coming around. You can check all your amounts really easily. One of the things I don't really care for is this. I thought I might have to use it for the system, but it hid itself very well, so I will not be needing it. So the question comes, there are 179 buckets of biomass in this tank. If I break that, will it all pour out? And the answer to that is actually no. What I'm going to do is replace that valve on the wall there with just a regular tank wall block. Alright, so when you break it, it's no longer a tank. However, all of the data for the liquid in the tank is stored in this center block in the floor right here. If I break this, I lose all 179 buckets of biomass. But I can break all the rest of them, and it's still perfectly fine. So, let's put the tank back together, and voila. You see right there? Got my 179 buckets right back. So they're perfectly fine. And now I don't have to look at this valve on the side that's not attached to anything or doing anything. That's a little bit cleaner to me. I like that. Okay. Well, I think that's going to be pretty much an episode. We've got this all finished up. There is still one thing that I want to do to this system, and that is to add some processing for the extra wheat once I start getting it. And I want to have an idea for that. So that'll probably be somewhere in this area. And we'll process the wheat once we have an overabundance of it, which we only have 50 stacks right now, so we still need some more. I did go through here and replace all the redstone engines with the autarkic engines, so that they're automatically pulling out, and it looks a lot cleaner now. So this is a pretty nice little setup. I really like it. There's a lot of learning that happened for this project. Alright, well, that's going to be all for today. Thank you all for watching, and have a good one.